What else do you see when you look in the mirror? It's just you and me, you know?
Hello, I'm TheLavenderGalaxy, and today I will be reading to you the story of the Conceited Reflection. Now, I asked you guys in the poll on what story I should do next, and it was actually a tie between Distant Starlight and the Conceited Reflection. But honestly, I cut out the Distant Starlight because I wanted to focus more on the lore side of things. And I have noted that pretty much all of you wanted to hear about the lore of Eventide of Astrology. So I will be doing this and the Techno Observatory later on. But if you guys really wanted to see me read Distant Starlight and Within the Other's Orbit, then let me know because I'm honestly not comfortable doing it at this time. Because frankly, I wrote those because I was bored. So sit back, relax, and I'm gonna hand over the microphone to Alphario. Enjoy.
As somebody who thinks of himself very highly, I can safely say that the same is true on the other end. Sure, call me a histrionic or a narcissist, but I'm not letting that aspect define me. I have a heart just like everyone else. I never wanted anything bad for anyone. But sometimes that can go a little far. I'll let it slip when it's most unnecessary, and I'd always ask myself, Alphario, you dumbass, why'd you do that? It can get stupid sometimes, but it doesn't happen that often. Sometimes though, I actively fight myself just to hold in my narcissism. That's kind of what happened when I went to sleep and entered dreamland, so that's why I'm here to tell you. I don't want to sound like I'm over-exaggerating, because honestly, it's hard, especially when it's a deep situation like this. So, I hope you have time, and I'm sorry if I'm holding you back from something. I had trouble falling asleep tonight, so I lay down on my bed. I read a text conversation from my buddy Blaze. I always had a good time talking to him, so whenever we finished, I'd go back and reread it just to smile at it again. I'm aware that I'm not the only one online right now. It's almost midnight, and I'm still not feeling sleepy. Well, me, Callisto, Galaxy, and Nekari. I'm guessing Callisto's talking to Laverne, and Nekari is just doing her own stuff, but I'm not sure about Galaxy. I mean, sure, he stays up late for a kid like him sometimes, but he hasn't gone this far yet. The latest I know he stays up is until around midnight, but then again, it's probably his depression that's keeping him from sleeping. Aw, I'm sorry, buddy. Maybe I can talk to him? I don't know how long he's going to stay up, but then again, I don't want to keep him up for long. He's got a long way before he reaches my age, so I'm gonna talk to him. Hey dude, you there? Hi. You good? You usually don't stay up this long. I don't know. I can't really think straight. Aw, I'm sorry. I feel that way too because I can't sleep right now, lol. I guess. Why couldn't you sleep? I told you. Same as you, dude. I think it's one of those nights where there's too much happening for me to fall asleep. Same. I don't know what it is or why it comes back like that. Maybe it's because of your memories? You've been dreading about them quite recently. Maybe. I'm not sure what to think of at this point. Well, maybe you can look at it this way. You're helping me and probably yourself falling asleep. Ow. Bud, I'm glad that you're telling me this. If I hadn't talked to you, then God knows how long I'd be up for. That's why I'm here. Sort of. I wanted to talk to you, not because you were awake, but because you're the guy I relate to the most. Wait, really? Heck yeah, dude. Never thought you'd hear that from me. Oof, yeah, I didn't. I thought you were more to Aster. Well, I think we're both close to him. I still am, but you're closer. Lol, I guess so. Ooh, now that I'm thinking about it, we were all the worst at falling asleep. OMG, yeah. Okay, I'm getting pretty sleepy, so I'm gonna sleep now. Okay, no prob, dude. Good night, bro. I feel brightened after chatting and helping a friend fall asleep. I smile as I scroll up and reread that conversation we just had. Don't worry, I'm about to sleep in a bit, but I just wanted to take in a fresh breath before I head to Dreamland. Sure, Galaxy's words can be a little hard to read because of all the fours, but for the most part, it's eligible. I'd probably had a headache if I was talking to Celezi or even Pixel. Anyway, that aside, after I read my last text, I turned it off, charged my phone at the nightstand, and shuffled around so I can fall asleep. Maybe tomorrow, I'll have a chat with the Alpha Nexus guys just for a nice conversation. Wish me a good night. Ugh, my head feels weird. Did somebody put an anvil in there? And where am I? As I opened my eyes and sat up, I look around to find myself on a metal bench. I'm back on Earth, seeing the vivid green grass leaning with the wind. It's a chilly, gusty, and dark night, and even though I have my red jacket on me, I shivered a bit. It's not too cold, so I'm sure that I won't freeze to death out here. To my right, there's a lone tree and a straight walkway that stretches to the horizon. And to my left, there's a small modern village just several steps away. This reminds me. When I visited the Orolits, they were in this kind of neighborhood. Could this be the same one? Nah, I don't think so. But then again, this feels familiar in another way, and I can't quite place it. What the? I stood up from the bench. I don't feel comfortable doing this, but I'll probably have to ask somebody to find me a roof over my head. The last thing I want is to get sick. I took my first few steps towards the village, but they were slow. That's because, as I walked, I was trying to think of where I saw and walked on this neighborhood before. Why is it so familiar? It's irritating me a bit, and I want some answers. Exploring the town, I was pretty scared that anyone would see me walking out here in the middle of the night. Nearly all of the lights are off, except for a couple of shops that are about to close. Wait, the shops. Do I know them? The one I just walked by, Paradega Point Store, sounds familiar. Paradega is the name of the volcano that my sister and I used to live near with our parents when I was younger. We lived on the island next to Emerald, where all my other friends lived. Well, except for the Alternians, of course. So if I'm near Mount Paradega, then that means I'm in my hometown, Carotales. I know there's a lot of Spanish words around here, but I myself don't speak it. Hell, I can only understand a little bit of it. Maybe I can tell you a bit more about myself if I can find my old house. As I continued to walk around, I increasingly became intrigued and perplexed. I know this is my hometown before Galatea, but I didn't recognize it at first because Mount Paradega isn't anywhere to be found. What the heck? And not only that, but there are also a few lights still on in some houses. Ugh, that's starting to make my heart sprint. Several minutes later, I turned the corner as I entered my old street. I don't feel nostalgic, but rather, I just feel creeped out. And being alone, it makes me feel tiny. Hopefully things will get better when I reach my house, which is halfway down the road. Every step I take, the wind roars like my soul, and it amplifies with every second I spend. In case you're wondering what my house looks like, it's a moderate one-story building that's painted white with a navy blue roof. Lining it is an elegant black metal fence with two hatches, one to swing wide open, and another off to the side to open a little door that only people can walk through. Sorry, pets. When I finally approached it, I gazed at it in wonder. I haven't been there in years, because Paradega erupted and we had to move out into central Emerald. Remember me? I stood behind the small metal gate. Dropping my head, I responded to myself by muttering, "Probably not. I guess I'm home again." Ooh, that gate was loud. It's not loud enough that people can hear it through their windows, but still, that's freaking the shit out of me. Sorry. I slowly tried to open the gate with minimal noise. It went smooth, I guess. Well, that is until I opened the gate. It got real creaky as I stepped through and closed it, but other than that, I think I won't raise any alarms. Exhaling, I silently walk up to my front door. Ekary's large dog isn't here to greet me. Then again, I think he's in a better place now. Anyway, I slowly turn the doorknob and enter my living room. All the lights are off, I think. I turn on a nearby lamp and collapse on the couch, feeling very tired. This feels so much better now that I'm in my old house here in Carotales. Since I haven't been here in forever, I'll take myself on a little tour around the house. with the last stop being my bedroom. So first, I dragged my sleepy attention to some vintage photos on the center table. There were 3 photos, one with my entire family, one of me, and one of my younger sister, Deltara. Holy crap, these are old, I mused, looking at my picture. This was me when I graduated middle school around 6 years ago, and boy, I still look awesome as I do now, even without my vermilion dyed hair. What's up, handsome? I smugly chimed. Still proud of you after all these years. I then directed my attention to my sister's picture. She looks just a bit younger than she is now, but she's just as good looking. Sup, Delta? I greeted. Doing good as always, and you know it. The last photo I looked at was the family photo, and I had to adjust my seating position to look at it better. Oh man, this one goes way back, to the time when Ekiri was still an infant and when I had an older sister. From left to right, there's my dad Leonardo, me, my older sister Omegara, and my mom Aralima. Deltara is piggybacking on Omega, and Aralima is holding little Ekiri. I miss these old times. I never really called our parents by their names back then, so I often referred to them as mom and dad. However, when their coworkers called them by their first name instead of Mr. and Mrs. Dorostaire, they would instead say Lima and Leo. Knowing me now, I feel like their nicknames would slip out at times if I didn't call them how I used to. And comparing that picture to myself now, it's honestly making me sad. There used to be 6 Dorostaires, but now there are half of them left, including me. How much we've grown, it moves so fast. I never thought I'd see the day that I'd be an adult, or even having my girlfriend, Europa Delmont. So as I pondered on this idea, I put my head on my arm and sighed. All the energy that was in me has been drained. If there's anyone that I miss the most, it's my dad. Ever since I was a little baby, I always felt like Leo's little prince. It's fitting, really. My zodiac sign is Leo, after all. Anyway, Leo has always been that person I looked up to when I need help, advice, or just a nice little fun time and wholesome dad moment. He's very much like me because we are both conceited, and I still am today despite my depression. There was, and still is, a special place in my heart for Dad. As for Lima, I cared about her too, although not as much as my sisters. She was Latino, and Leo was English, so Lima would talk to Leo in English with a hint of Spanish in there. Spanglish? Maybe. Heck, I also remember her trying to teach me and my sister Spanish so that we can talk to her in Spanish. I didn't do so well, but Omega spoke it like it's normal because she took Spanish classes. I'm so tired. Just thinking about stuff is enough to make my eyelids heavy. I'm gonna go to my room, but before that, I just wanted to visit my parents' room. I dragged myself off the couch and stretched, yawning as I proceeded to turn off the lamp and enter the hall just behind me. I'm tired. I'm gonna go visit you and Mom's room for a moment, I told myself as I walked down the dark hall. My room was near the entrance. Omega's room was at the end, and my parents' room is just across that. The door straight ahead of me is the closet of blankets, pillows, and sheets. When I entered my parents' room, I turned on the nearest lamp. I'm home alone, so I can basically go anywhere without worrying too much. Anyway, after I closed the door, I sat on the bed, staring at the picture of 4. Mom, Dad, Omega, and me as a baby. Oh, my heart. Looking at this picture is like looking at a star in the night sky. Hi guys, I whispered as I held the picture. Tears are already starting to form in my eyes, and they're ready to run free. I took a deep breath and closed my eyes as I let them go. I was going to put the frame back where it was, but my curiosity turned to a piece of paper that it stood on. I put the frame on the pillow and picked up the paper. It looks like it's been cut in half horizontally, and the words are written in red ink. It looks like a letter. To me. And when I read it, my heart shattered and my tears turned into waterfalls. Alphario, my son, if you found this note and are reading it, there's no one else in the world who is fit to be my heir but you. We gave you your name because I knew how much you were worth to me and Lima. We called you Regulus at first, but Lima had a better idea and changed it to Alphario. We didn't think of the Alpha and Omega when we named you both. Someday, I'm sure you'll see why we changed your name to Alphario. We may be gone, but I'll always keep you in my heart, my little prince. Stay strong and keep the kingdom shining. Your loving father, Leonardo Dorostaire. Dad, I weakly whispered as everything in me broke down. This is too much! I know I have a big heart, but not even that is enough to contain all the emotions I'm feeling right now. I can clearly feel the shards shaking inside me, and they're piercing my soul. I'm not broken because my name was changed, but I just miss my dad so much. I move the note and frame to the other side of the bed as I fall over and smother my red and flooded face on the pillow. I've never cried this hard in my life. I scream as my fragments become unbearable. My mind is twisting and contorting. I feel lightheaded after all I've seen in this shell of a house. I shift my body around so I'm facing the ceiling. My tears are still running, but they've slowed down a tiny bit. I'm left pondering on the name Regulus. Why? I'm also curious as to why they chose that name, then changed it to Alphario. I can think about it now, but at this point, I can't even think straight, just like what Galaxy said earlier. My head hurts right now. I just want to sleep right here and right now, but there's one more thing I want to check out. My room. How could I end my night without going there to relive my childhood? That would have shot a crater into my heart. So as my tears ceased and I exhaled, I sat up, returned the note and frame back to where they were, turned off the lamp, and got up and left the room, closing the door slowly. My goodness, that was an experience. I have a pulsing headache, and I feel like it's not going to go away unless I rest. Well, I could have snoozed in my parents' room, but I wanted to sleep satisfied. Oh, the hallway is so dark. I trudged down it anyway until I reached the door to my room, which is the one to my right near the entrance. I can barely see, but the darkness isn't too blinding, so I could at least see that shiny silver doorknob. I turn it and open the door, which leads to another dark room. Ugh, where's the light switch? I'm feeling around the walls, which aren't there. I walk forward and try to touch around for my bed, and it wasn't here either. Huh, that's weird. Wait, what? I perplexedly asked myself. Where is everything? Confused, I closed the door and left myself in pitch darkness. I can't see anything, and there's nothing around for me to interact with. What is going on? Where'd my room go? I should have known something was skewed like this would happen, because why would Mount Paradega would be missing? And to think that I didn't see anyone else around but myself. Hello? Room, where'd you go? I called out. Silence answered. I closed my eyes and sighed as I regret being here already. Out of all the rooms, my room was the one that's missing. I wonder if it's the only one, though. When I opened my eyes, I was surprised to see myself when I yawned. Well, I can at least see something now. I don't just see myself either. As I looked at myself and the abyssal environment around me, I see someone familiar. Me? Huh? What am I doing over there? Hi, whoa. I gasped as I waved at him, only for him to copy my moves. It's like a mirror, if not is one. I nervously smiled as I approached my reflection and put my hand on the mirror. That's some smooth glass, I'm not gonna lie. Hey, handsome. I nervously chuckled as we put our hands away. Although, I am left wondering, why is this giant mirror the only thing in the void that was supposed to be my room? I wish I knew. I sighed as I fixed my jacket. Looking myself in the eye, I mused, I wish I knew where my room went. Wait, what? I widened my eyes in confusion. Is someone else here? I was going to say, I wish I knew where my room went, but as I was saying that, I heard, I wish you knew where your room went. Ugh, that creeped me out. So quizzically, I said, whoa, what the heck? Anyway, I was gonna say that I wish that I knew where my room went. I heard it again, and this time, things are getting scary. I slowed down because my reflection was creeping a smile in his face. I swear, I wasn't smiling myself. And on top of that, I don't think there's another person in here because the voice that was following me sounded too similar to mine. And who just so happens to look like me? The man in the mirror. Dude, don't look at me like that! I exclaimed as I stepped back and turned away. Holy crap, my heart is sprinting like there's no tomorrow. This is too freaky. Reflections breaking free is one of the most terrifying things to happen. I guess now I know how Asterio feels to fear something like this. He always does it with reluctance, and I never understood why until now. Tears are starting to well in my eyes again as I panted heavily with a hand on my chest. I'm shaking and shivering in fear. I feel like I'm pinned to where I am because I don't want to look at the mirror. Hello? A couple of minutes ago, you said I was handsome, and look at you now! Stop crying over there, you wimp! I heard myself say. Ugh, I'm about to get a heart attack from hearing that. Who are you? I yelled. Ugh, are you kidding me? Do you not see the smooth vermilion facade that you turned away from? Of course you know my name! I built up the courage to look at him again. Oh god, he's right up against the mirror. Or is it just glass? I don't even know anymore. Come on, you know you want to say it. You're creepy. Oh, I get that a lot, and I will stay that way. You crack me up at times, you know that? Yeah, when I crack your face? Yeah, exactly! Oh, you can go on all day. I'm just here having a jolly old time. You wish. I'm stuck in here with you, wondering where my room went. What'd you do to it? No, you're saying it wrong. It's supposed to be where my room went. Ugh, my room, your room, it doesn't matter because it's Alphario's room. What'd you do to it? Like I'm the one to blame. You aren't me, so I'm just as clueless as you. Then why'd you say, I wish you knew where your room went? I was asking you. I only came in when you came in. Hey, I didn't do shit, man. I just walked in here and saw that I'm in the void. Yeah, with me. It's only us, you know. How do you know that? Did you see anyone else out there? Nope, not even our sisters. No one's around, dude. You're the only other person I've met, and that just so happens to be myself. Well, that sucks. No one but me is around to hear your story. Do you want to, though? Nah, I'm good. Remember who you're looking at? I sigh in exhaustion and frustration. This Alphario seems more self-centered than me, and it's bothering me so much. I do admit that some of the things he said were things I could have said if I was feeling more conceited. I crossed my arms as I walked up to the mirror and sat down with my back against it, and my reflection follows. I just wanted to sleep. You could have slept in Dad's room, you know? I know, and I feel dumb to leave it and end up here because I wanted to visit my room one more time. Because that's not happening. Hey, at least you're here to give me company. Doesn't matter. I'm just talking to myself wherever I went. Well, am I not worthy to be seen as someone to talk to? Not when it comes to an interactive sense. You're literally me, but more egotistical. Talking to myself like this doesn't help in any way. Listen, dude, who else are you gonna talk to if you're gonna end up in a situation like this? And don't lie, we do this all the time. For fuck's sakes. Yeah, that's what I thought. If I'm gonna talk to myself, then it's with the part of me who is actually sane, unlike you. You remind me of that part of myself that I hate. Oh, like I haven't heard that from me before. Every single time you make a great mistake, you go ahead and blame it on me. That's how it works, doesn't it? Yeah, because what you are is the root of everything I do wrong. Like, sure, you can come out when instances are just right, but I put you on the back of my mind for the most part. Ugh, it's so boring back there. Blame it all on me like you're an angel over there. If you ask me, this isn't fair. Out of all the Alpharios, you pick on me. What's the big idea, man? I'm on the verge of exploding like a raging paradega. Seriously, this guy is so annoying. I clench my fist as I turn around and punch the mirror, cracking it. It hurt a bit, but at this point, I feel fury over pain. Now the next thing I want to do is to grab this bitch's neck and strangle him. I just told you before, dude! You don't understand, and I bet you won't because you probably don't care what I say! You're the reason why my life in Emerald and the Observatory turned to I've been fighting to stay sane throughout the 19 years of my life in this universe, and you're not helping! Why do you want the spotlight, huh? So that you can make a fool out of me in front of my friends? To make myself feel shittier than I ever was? To disconnect me from everyone else? What's in your goddamn mind? Well, it's not my fault I was made like this. How do you think I exist like this in the first place? Did you forget what's separating us here? Unless you kill yourself, I can't die because I'm a part of you. I was forced to be like this. Remember your first days? I was there to lift you up, to make yourself feel better. Now what happened? You do whatever you want out there and blame it on me. I'm sick of that and I'm left wondering why you put it all on me. You corrupted me, Alphario. You broke my reputation, and now I'm here to break yours. I'll show you who Dad's true little prince should be. He leaps at me with a malicious smile, smashing through the mirror. Bits of glass spray at me, which distracted me enough that my reflection was able to knock me to the ground. Ow, my stomach. He punched it! From the ground, I glared at him with fire in my eyes as he walked towards me with an evil grin. Ugh, what do I look like to him, a ragdoll? Because I'm certainly not one! I can feel the flame raging in my soul as I warmed up my hands by clenching them. And if I'm fighting with fire, then he has got electricity. I can see his hands sparking, ready to electrocute me. I slowly begin to stand up, still slouching from the pain in my stomach. Oh, it's on now. You really think I go down this easily? Never. You and me, and you wanted this! Bring it on, lioness! Immediately, my reflection fired a lightning bolt at me from his hand, but I was able to duck under it and roll to the side. Having my eyes locked on him, I took a deep breath and spit out a fireball, but he ran at me from the side, dodging it. This isn't going to be easy, because why would it be? If anything, this Alphario is probably better than me. Anyway, just before he could shock me with his hands, I grabbed his wrist, but before I could attack, he lunged his other hand straight into my stomach. Not again! Taking 2 hits, and I'm about to drop on the ground. No, I can't lose! I roared my voice out as I released my other knee's hand and doubled over with both arms on my stomach. Ow! It's almost like he ripped out my abdomen. Unable to hold myself up, I knelt on the ground with one hand on the floor and the other on my stomach. I'm not giving up yet. I can't! Looks like it's clear who the winner is. You didn't even stand a chance. Winner in what? Like, okay, it's obvious it's you, but you really think it's just that? Go ahead and prove me wrong if I said that I'm the winner in persistence. I can shatter you, but you can't shatter me. Let's test that, shall we? He's strangling me. I can't breathe, but I'm not worried. You know why? The other Alphario doesn't know that I'm gonna go poof before I do. Why? Well, as he squeezes the life out of me, he's killing himself because 1, he's obviously me, and 2, he's a part of my mind, and that will most likely shut down. I know what it's like to die because it's happened to me before. It's never pretty, and when it's a slow death like this, it's especially agonizing. I actually am dying, but because I'm in the dream, I'll just wake up in the real world. So, don't worry, I'm fine. For now, I'm starting to drift away from consciousness. I feel like my neck is about to break, and I won't mind if it does. I can barely see and hear everything going on.
Any last words? Oh, what the heck am I saying? Of course you don't have any. Good. Hey, what the? Hey.
Before I completely fall unconscious, I hear him screaming, abruptly cut off by a loud shatter. He's gone. But am I gone too? Did I get too cocky? Please don't take me away. Am I alive? Where am I? Am I awake? My head. Why does it feel cloudy? My neck feels stiff, and I'm scared to turn it. I fluttered my eyes open and looked around. Oh, I'm in my old room again. This was the room that was missing at first. Looks like somebody removed my jacket and sneakers and tucked me into bed. This feels familiar. I stare at the ceiling as I thought about what just happened to me. How did I get out of the void? Who put me like this? Is it safe to do anything with my neck? My throat is dry, so I assume my voice is going to be really hoarse. But whoever brought me here cares about me. Maybe it was my dad? Oh, please tell me it was. I widened my eyes as I heard 2 familiar voices, one little boy and my dad. My heart jumped out as I listened and frantically looked around for them.
Alpha, how are you feeling?
I still have a headache, Daddy, and my throat hurts.
Do you want water? I'll mix it with lemon.
I'm fine. It's okay. And, can I talk for a bit?
Don't strain your throat, Alpha. What is it?
Do you think everybody doesn't like me?
Huh? Alpha, don't say that. Of course not. Sure, there can be people like that, but there's also people who want you as their friend. Why? What happened?
Because, that's just what I feel like whenever I do something embarrassing.
Alpha, just because you do an oopsies doesn't mean that they just see you as that. People make mistakes all the time, including me. When I was your age, I was having the same problem as you're having right now. I thought everybody hated me, but as I got older, I realized that one mistake isn't the end of the world. So no, Alpha, not everybody doesn't like you. You have friends, not just in school, but also from Emerald. I know they don't hate you.
It's been a while since I last talked with them.
Yeah, and if you want a lasting friendship, try keeping in touch with them. Who knows, maybe they want to talk to you. We're going to Emerald next month because we're going to have our appointment there.
Do I get to visit my friends?
Maybe. Most likely.
Can't wait.
I know. Are you sure you don't want any water with lemon?
Actually, can you get me?
Alright.
Oh my gosh, my heart. The little boy. That's me. I sound like an adorable baby, and I remember this. I was sick at the time, and this was supposed to be the time that I visited Emerald for the second time. Note that I said supposed, because before our departure, Mount Paradega erupted, and that was the same day that I lost Omega and my parents. I'll never forget that day. I couldn't help but let the tears flood my face. I wanted to squeak out Dad, but I was afraid of how my neck will react because it still hurts like hell. And additionally, the conversation I heard was all in my head. I saw neither my young self nor Dad when I looked around. If only I could get up and get some lemonade for myself. I probably can, but I just don't feel like getting up because I'm pretty drowsy. If I fall asleep now, I'll wake up in the real world. I guess that's what I'm gonna do because this sore throat is killing me. I exhale and shut my eyes as I drifted away, holding my heart close. I yawn and open my eyes after a short while. Huh? I'm still in the dream world, but what happened to my room? It's almost as if I woke up from sleeping through the Paradega explosion. My room's in ruins, which probably means the rest of my house is too. Also, wait, I remember something. Earlier before I went into the house, I noticed that Mount Paradega isn't there. Is it now? Or am I simply focusing on the neighborhood without the volcano? I sit up in confusion and scratch my head. My neck isn't as sore as before, but it still hurts. Maybe I can speak, but my voice will probably be hoarse. What happened? I mutter as I look around my environment. Everything is collapsed and covered in ash. Ugh, I don't even want to see my dead family members. I get off the bed, kick the ash off my jacket and sneakers, and made my way out of my room and maneuvered my way through the fallen hallways to eventually end up outside. Along the way, I kept on coughing because all of the smells are probably killing me. This is how Omega and my parents died. We were all in the house when we all heard the deafening bang in the distance. The house collapsed with all 6 of us in it, but as you may know, only half of us survived, and I didn't expect that. Of course, Delta, Echo, and I were all hospitalized for, 2 months? Well, for me at least. Echo and Delta had to stay in there longer because they were younger than me. As for the other 3, Omega and Leo got crushed while Lima suffocated. From what I know and remember, Dad was trying to get to me because my name was the last thing I heard before he, I didn't think I would be alive today when that day happened, but why should I question it? I'm thankful for it. Anyway, I said all that to you as I stood outside and looked around. The sky is bloody red, and all of the buildings and ground are covered in thick ash. The sight horrifies me, and the thought of everything that happened is haunting. Oh my god.
I muttered as I began to walk away, following the way I came from when I first ended up here. The whole time, I was in tears, crying from the deathly aura that encases me as the ghost town observed me. I was deeply unsettled. The air only got tighter. Eventually, my dreary eyes spot the tree and the metal bench I first woke up on. Maybe I'll sleep there and finally wake up in the real world. So as if I was a homeless guy, I put on my hoodie and laid down on the bench, putting myself to sleep. And I guess before I wake up in the real world, I do want to talk about one more thing. On the last day of my hospitalization, when Ekri was finally ready to be released, I remember thinking about what I'd become with my life like this. Carateles didn't exactly have an orphanage like Emerald does, so I had to move to Emerald to stay at the Sunside Horizon orphanage. Good for us, because all of our friends are there. From what I heard, the Deltixes and Delmonts were living together because the Deltixes also lost their parents. Now, I'm not saying that I moved in with the Delmonts because holy hell, with the Deltixes, they've got a lot more to deal with. 6 children? Damn! It was really nice of them to let the Deltixes move in with them because they have a close relationship with each other to begin with. Of course, there's Callisto and Laverne, but then there was also Asterio and Ganymede, or more specifically, the twins. My sisters and I stayed at SHO for quite a while, and it was alright, I guess. Eventually, the Delmonts were admitted to the orphanage after having both of their parents killed in an earthquake. Yikes, what's up with our parents dying? It's odd and concerning. The Delmonts came in, and the Deltixes ended up back where they were before. We all met up and decided, well, this is our life now. That is, until the day we met up with the Alternians. I had no idea who they were at the time, and at first, it felt like an alien abduction. But apparently, when we snuck out of the orphanage and entered their ship, the Alternians were distant friends I didn't even know we had. All of this wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for my best friend, Asterio, because he was the one who got the Alternians to pick us up and live together as a group of 12 out in space on another planet. Anyway, I think that's enough babbling from me. It's time to rise up into reality. I woke up feeling distraught and internally fragmented. I stare at the ceiling as I replayed an abridged version of my dream in my mind. That life felt so long ago, and it was. I'm not gonna get anything done if I stay here and vent to myself all day, so I sit up and glance at the clock. 9:30 a.m. Not too bad because that's usually the time that I wake up. So, I guess it's time to get up with the day. I wasn't feeling too happy, but I'm not depressed either. Although a little down, I carried on normally, and I mostly spent my time with Europa. I told my story to anybody who was eager to hear it. Europa, Galaxy, Asterio, the Alpha Nexus guys, and Callisto.